What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to another weekly update, a day early this time, because I want to talk about, a few things, but more importantly, where the heck did my first impressions video for this last weekend go, and where have, all the videos for this last weekend gone, for that matter. Let's just say as of 30 minutes ago, my computer is finally working for the first time since Friday. While recording on Friday, I opened up my capture software. I started recording the first impressions video, and about 10 minutes in, it crashed on me. My whole computer crashed. And so I was like, okay, that's weird. I mean, it's happened once before with this computer, but that was months ago, and I didn't think anything of it. In fact, it was when I pretty much used the computer for the first time. So I booted up again, didn't think anything of it. I mean, it's happened once. And then only a couple minutes in, it did the same thing. In fact, I barely even started the recording, and it happened again. Turns out, I wasn't able to open any memory-intensive programs at all, even Google Chrome. I couldn't do any of my Adobe programs. I couldn't do Vegas Pro. I couldn't do my Capture Studio. Anything that required just a certain amount of my CPU, like not even that much, just enough that it was a little bit intensive, crashed my system. It turned out there was a lot of issues with background processes going. There was some issues with my RAM. Part of my RAM just flat out wasn't working. I had to do a lot of things. I actually had to go buy some parts and fix it all up. And from Friday, I mean, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but from Friday at 6 p.m. to now, when I'm recording this, which is Sunday 8:45, I have been effectively without a computer. The only thing I have literally been able to do on this computer is watch movies. That's like it since then. But yeah, it has been pretty much dead. So that's why there's no video. I tried recording the first impressions, which was going to be Resistance Fall of Man, because that won the last voting. And I haven't been able to. So instead of, releasing it like Tuesday, because I still actually at this point have not yet been able to record it, I'm just going to release it next Saturday. So it's going to be delayed a week. I apologize for that, but videos will resume as normal. In fact, I think I'm going to probably release this one after a video today anyway. So, but yeah, everything's back in order. I even tested it by pulling up like 7 heavy memory intensive programs all at once just to see how the computer handled it fine. The fan I didn't even hear the fan, which is what it would usually do when it was having issues. Like you could hear it running really loud, and it wasn't even doing that. So I think my computer is all good to go again. So yeah, crisis thankfully averted, but it caused a little bit of a delay, which sucks because I wanted to spend the whole weekend recording and I couldn't. And so I've got a lot of catching up to do. Thankfully, I have been taking a break from a lot of things, and work is very slow at the moment. So this week I should be able to catch up. I just want to power through Tomb Raider. I want to get that last mission of Shadow of Mordor done. That's literally all I have left is the final boss. I just want to power through the rest of this. I even want to power through Soul Silver, get that done. And actually kind of leave it behind for a bit before I go back and do all of the other endgame stuff. Just for a little bit, just because I want to move on to other things. And then, again, as I've said every time, Fallout 4 is totally set for a long, long time. It's in its own little world because that is a game that is incredibly easy for me to produce content for. And it's a game I enjoy recording. Those are the kinds of games I enjoy recording the most. So yeah, things are pretty good. Things are pretty good. So, topic for this week that I want to talk about, of course, is the Pokemon Sun and Moon announcement. I love Pokemon, as you all know. It is in my name. A Pokemon is in my name, and a Pokemon is my icon. I absolutely love Pokemon. And the possible 7th generation 6.5 game coming out this year. There's so many theories floating around. Oh, this one's going to be in space. Oh, it's going to be in it's going to be the, that finally that Pokemon game where it's all the regions together, blah 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 blah. And, I'm not settling on any theories. The only one I had that was kind of fun, and I don't know if anyone else has postulated this, but, well, this could be to Kalos what Jota was to Kanto, and what's next to France but Germany. So maybe this next game takes place in Germany, and the bad guys are Nazis or something like that. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a funny idea. But anyway, moving past that, I'm very excited. I'm hoping for awesome-looking starters. Pokemon designs are my favorite thing about Pokemon anyway. I'm really hoping for a new evolution because they're all my favorites. They're my babies. I would love to see it. And who knows? Maybe I can get a 3DS capture card before its release, and let's play it day one. Who knows? We'll have to see. Probably not, though, because Pokemon games are a slog for me, and I would definitely like to just be able to sit down and enjoy it. So yeah, I am very excited. In fact, so excited that on Friday, as soon as my computer went down and I realized I would have to wait on till the next morning to go get a part, I bought Pokemon Blue for the 3DS. And I sat down, started playing it, and man, the memories just kept on flooding back. I am so excited to be able to transfer the Pokemon from that game into whatever generation Sun and Moon is. The thing that has me so excited about that, though, is just remembering all of the TMs and those extra additional moves you could only get in Gen 1 that you can't get in future generations. Like, for instance, I've got a Flareon with Skull Bash and Body Slam. That's awesome. I'm able to teach Bubble Beam to literally every single water type I've got. That's kind of cool. Not a lot of water types can learn Bubble Beam anymore. I mean, it's not the most powerful move, but it's still a decent move. It's got, base of 65? Anyway, I want to teach Sky Attack to every flying type. Pidgeot with Sky Attack. That's awesome. It's hard to get that in a lot of the generations. I know there is, I think Generation 3 you can get it, but it's still not easy to get that. But yes, that's awesome, and that's got me really excited, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm also doing the Missing No glitch, just because, I mean, why the heck wouldn't you? That's the best thing about Blue and Red. It's just so awesome, the Mew glitch, all of that. It's so exciting. So exciting. I've actually already beaten the 8 gyms and at almost 12 hours of play. So, yeah, I'm super, super excited for Sun and Moon. I have done a very good job at keeping the hype out and away from, I guess not keeping it out of me, keeping away from everyone else's hype while keeping my hype internal, which is typically what allows me to enjoy games more. Just because if I am oversaturated with it, I get annoyed and sick of it very easily. It's just, I don't mesh with that stuff. That's a very personal thing that I don't like, but when I see oversaturations in something, I get sick of it very quickly. So one reason I'm glad I've cut out social media, and it's going to allow me to probably enjoy this game to its fullest when it comes out, and I'm super, super excited. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was Nintendo itself. Because there's a lot of things coming up. Heck, there's a new console coming out that we still don't know a darn thing about. And I wanted to talk about that actually for the majority of this update. So if you don't want to hear speculation, critical analysis, but also I'm going to try to keep this mostly positive analysis towards Nintendo, then you can probably just stop here. I don't know if I'll be talking about anything else. But I wanted to talk about the NX and kind of, well, first of all, what I think it's going to be. But secondly, and more importantly, is it going to, do I even think it's going to work? Because no one knows what the heck the NX really is. I mean, there's so many rumors floating around, and so many of them are getting debunked or just dismissed, or they're just being swept under the rug, or, they're just coming and going. I mean, I've heard every little thing. Oh, the NX is going to work on the PS4. Oh, the NX is going to, it's going to be your new smartphone. Oh, the NX is replacing the 3DS and the Wii, blah, blah, blah. All this crap. So first of all, I do want to say this. My couple concerns with the NX, just because there's going to obviously be concerns, especially with how Nintendo was this last generation. Like it or not, from a business standpoint, from a software standpoint, and from a hardware standpoint, in all three, Nintendo lost this generation. That doesn't mean they didn't have good games, and that does not mean the Wii U is a bad system. I like my Wii U. I really like my Wii U. I don't have a lot of games for it, but I like all the ones I have for it. It's a good system. It's an underpowered system, yes, but it is a good system. Unfortunately, it's sold the least. The software on it, while good, has been far and few between. For every... I mean, and don't get me wrong, the idea, and it still rings true for the most part with Nintendo, Nintendo very rarely releases a good game, but when that good game comes out, it's not only good, it's great. The thing about the other systems, though, is they release almost great, if not great, games monthly. Nintendo doesn't do that. And great, of course, is subjective, completely subjective. Like me, personally, there are a lot of some of the best Wii U games I don't like. I don't like Pikmin 3. Actually, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head I don't like of them. Yeah, I mean, I like Smash Bros. I like Bayonetta 2. I like Mario Kart 8. I didn't like Super Mario 3D World. There's one. But that aside, for, you know, all these games that you can name off for the Wii U, I can name 10 times as many that I absolutely love on the PS4 and Xbox One already, and they haven't even been out as long. They have more support. That's the problem. It's not the Wii U is a bad system. It's an underpowered system, and it's not worth developing for. It has zero third-party support. So that's the problem, is it's like... Now, see, if you were to pit Nintendo's games only against the games made by SCEA for the PlayStation 4, or only made by, well... just made directly by Microsoft in-house. If you compare that, Nintendo wins. Okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest here. SCEA's put out, like, what? 2 or 3 really good games since the PS4 launched. Microsoft, the only one I can think of was Halo 5. Like, Nintendo's got them beat. But that's the problem, though, is that Nintendo's the only developer for the Wii U for the most part. There are third-party games. Rayman Legends is still awesome, and Wii U is the definitive way to play. It has Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and although that was a last-generation game, it's still really good. I mean, there are other third-party games I'm not naming, but not near enough. Wii U is supported by, for the most part, one developer, and that one developer is Nintendo itself. So that's my concern, because... there was an article that just came out. The article didn't just come out, I guess. This developer just came out, and then I read an article about him. And he happens to be one of the developers for one of my all-time favorite games, and that would be for Ori and the Blind Forest. And he said, well, he basically expressed frustration with Nintendo. He was saying, we are not getting development kits for the NX, and this system is supposed to be out in the middle of the year. How the heck does Nintendo expect us to give it anything without these dev kits? And that is a legitimate concern. He was a little frustrated, but he is correct in his frustration, because that does show that Nintendo still has zero concern for third-party support, and that is a worry. And I'll talk about the flip side here in a second, but that is a concern, because the problem is while the Wii U, the Nintendo typically has cheaper systems, justifying that price for far fewer games, which are also going to be a lot more expensive for a lot longer than any game on PS4 or Xbox One, you know. Can you really justify that? Like, don't get me wrong. I got my Wii U for free, but I mean, I helped my family get a Wii U for $200. Okay. However, they have only the 6 AAA games. I mean, I'm going to call them AAA. Okay, 6 big releases that they have on their system. Between those 6 games, they have spent over $200. If you combine that price, okay, on the cost I spent on my Xbox One, I spent on my Xbox One and all the games for it, Yes, the Xbox One cost me $400, but all the other games I have for it, and that is a total of 38 games, I have only spent 150 more. Okay, and this includes games like Titanfall, Sunset Overdrive, Far Cry 4, Dying Light, Ori and the Blind Forest, Fallout 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Call of Duty Black Ops, Dead Rising, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and the brand new NBA 2K game that came out. And Dragon Age Inquisition. All those games, and I have spent less in software than Nintendo has, because Nintendo is habitual with keeping their games at higher cost. Mario Kart 8 came out, almost 2 years ago now? It's still a $60 game in most places. So, that's an issue. So, price justification is a problem. Okay? Especially when you're not getting AAA support. And that has me very concerned, because it's just like, well, I mean, I only am going to buy your system for the Nintendo games then. It's the only reason, which is going to make it my lowest priority thing as a person who plays all systems, because I have all of them. I have PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. So that's one issue. However, we don't know what the nature of the NX is yet. The way that they've made it sound, and I'm going to gather this from all the rumors, okay? And because I've done a lot of thinking about this, because I am legitimately excited for the NX. I want it to succeed, and I want to be able to. I want to buy it. I want to buy it, I guess. I've been doing a lot of speculating and kind of bringing all the rumors together and figuring out what I think it is. And I think that the NX, the initial release of the NX, is going to be something like a PlayStation TV or an Apple TV. And you're probably like, what the heck? Whoa, what are you talking about? That sounds really stupid. No, actually, it doesn't sound stupid. It's not as basic as those units are. Trust me, I think PS TV and Apple TV are stupid. Don't get me wrong. I would never justify buying one of those. But then again, I'm not a TV person. But I would never justify something like that for gaming. I think Nintendo is going to be taking it a little different road. I think that it is going to be a little bit more of a peripheral, and that's why they're saying it's going to kind of connect to everything. What it's going to basically do is it's going to use your devices as Nintendo hubs. So your Apple device, your smartphone, it's going to use that as a hub for. It's going to basically connect you to all of the Nintendo iOS services. Your computer, you'll be able to use that as a hub. And it's going to connect you to all of Nintendo services that way. Heck, that's why they even rumored possibly the PS4. Not saying that it's going to be like, oh, you're going to be able to play Zelda games on your PS4. Not necessarily. I don't think Sony is going to really. I mean, Sony will have something to do with it. Obviously, they'll have permissions or something like that given out, if this is actually true. But I think what it's going to be more like is it's going to be kind of used in the same way the Oculus Rift uses your computer. It's going to be basically a tool for accessing Nintendo services. But I don't think we're going to be getting any games for it yet. At all. I really think that the NX, this first device that, because they're saying they're releasing it in 2 parts, I really think this first device is just going to be a way of connecting to the eShop and connecting to like Netflix and all of the other services Nintendo provides. Just all of that. And your Nintendo account, everything. I think that's what this first device is going to be, and using other systems to do it. That being said, the second part, I think, is going to be the actual console. That's going to be where the games come in. They also said, the Nintendo NX is not replacing the Wii U. I kind of don't believe that. I believe that in the sense that I do think that Wii U is still being developed for. I don't believe that in the fact that I think Wii U is still going to be supported as the main platform, because I don't think Nintendo has the resources to do that. Now, don't get me wrong, Nintendo's got money. They got plenty of money. They got plenty of manpower, too. They're a big company. They got a lot of resources. It's not saying they don't have that. For all I know, they might actually have more than than the PlayStation division of Sony and the Xbox division of Microsoft have. Like, a lot more. I mean, I think they do, actually. But, that being said, I think the Wii U has unfortunately found its niche as an amiibo machine, and I'm not saying that's only all it's going to be focused on, but I think it is going to become where more of the casual efforts are focused. The efforts that don't need to utilize stronger hardware. That's where I think the NX comes into play. I don't think the NX itself, the original thing, is going to need anything great as far as hardware specifications go. I think it is just going to be a peripheral, and the hardware specifications are completely deterrent on what hardware you're using it with. The console itself is going to probably come out to the same power as the Xbox One and PS4. That's my theory. I also think that Zelda and games like that are going to be delayed to the NX so that they can properly handle it. Those are all my theories, okay? Do I think that this is a good thing? Yes. Yes, I do. I think Nintendo... Yes, well, sorry, I should say yes and no. Yes, I think it's a good idea in the fact that, of course, I'm pretty sure Nintendo's trying to innovate again. They're saying, because everyone's been like, oh, Nintendo's doesn't believe in, they don't believe in VR, they don't believe in all these peripherals. That's not true. I think the NX itself is a peripheral, and I think that's a good idea, and I also think it's going to be able to help them sell better, because I kid you not, and there's data to back it up, half the reason the Wii U didn't sell very well is the name. People don't even know it can't tell it apart from the regular Wii. The initial box looks the same. Everyone thought that the Wii U was just the gamepad you'd hook up to it. Like anyone who doesn't actually know gaming. That's kind of sad. But the NX is going to be marketed a lot differently. It's going to be more like, probably marketed the way PS TV, Amazon TV, all that stuff is marketed. I think it's going to be marketed more like that. And it's going to be able to turn whatever device you have in your home into a Nintendo Hub network kind of thing. Okay? And then you buy the console later, and then they say, by the way, this is the gaming console. The new gaming console. Brand new. Here you go. It also works with that new fancy device we gave you guys a year ago. That's however long it takes for the console to come out. I think that's a good thing. But again, I also do have worries because Nintendo is notorious for marketing things poorly when it really counts. Not always. I mean, just look at the Wii. So not always. But as of late, they've had a major issue with it. But again, that's all just a theory. All right? I mean, who knows? I could be completely wrong, and the NX is literally just a more powerful version of the Wii U. And the only difference is that the gamepad that comes with it also is a handheld that you can actually take away from your console. Like, that's the other speculation, too, is they're thinking, oh, it's literally just the same thing as the Wii U, except for it really is just two separate pieces, and they don't need to be 100% connected to each other. That could still be a cool idea, too. I mean, I'd be okay with that. I think that'd be still a pretty fun system. But, we'll see. We will see. So, yeah. That's pretty much all my speculation on the NX and what Nintendo has in store. Yeah. I've definitely I actually just barely re-recorded this because I'm trying to kind of hold my tongue. People know that I am a little sour towards Nintendo because they have made themselves the bad guys all generation. And they also are notorious for other things, such as with YouTube, which is kind of a hot topic right now because of the whole where's the fair use thing going on, and Nintendo is the biggest offender of that in gaming. Well, them and Sega. But, and that's the reason I don't really make videos of new Nintendo games. And it's not like the money matters to me, but just because I don't want to support it, because there are lots of YouTubers I like that do focus on Nintendo stuff, and I know it's affecting them a lot, and I don't want to support that. So that's why I don't make videos on Nintendo stuff. But anyway, back to the original subject. Nintendo's made themselves the bad guys. I'm very hard on them, but that's because I know Nintendo can be better. I know Nintendo, when they do it right, they do it the best. They really, really do. I mean, they just haven't done it the best in a long time, unfortunately. I really haven't felt like Nintendo has been groundbreaking since the GameCube. And I'm not saying the GameCube itself was, but the software on there was. Yeah, I feel like Nintendo hasn't hit their stride in a while, and I would really love to see them do it again. I want to see Nintendo embrace better hardware. I want to see them embrace stronger software. I want to see them embrace newer ideas again. I want to see them bring back old ideas but add flair to it. I want to see them do things that people really don't expect, but for the better. Because that's the problem with Nintendo, and that's the one thing that makes them different. Is call them innovative all you want, but Nintendo hasn't done something that you haven't expected in a while. Like, you can say all you want, oh, you know, Super Mario 3D World or Super Mario 3D Land, oh, that was isometric. That was very different from Mario Galaxy. I mean, I kind of didn't expect... No. I'm not talking about that as so different. I'm talking about when they went from Super Mario World to Super Mario 64 doing something you haven't expected. I'm talking about when they showed off the realistic Zelda for the GameCube, and we got Wind Waker, and it turned out to be the best thing ever, even though we all thought it was going to be terrible. I want that from Nintendo again. And when they start doing that again, I am going to be very, very happy. And I know I won't be the only one. I know a lot of people will be very, very happy. Which is, again, part of the reason I'm super excited for Sun and Moon. Because I don't think this is just another entry. I don't think this is just Generation 7 again. I think this is going to be something a little bit better. And that has me excited. But I don't want to speculate too much on that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to talk about. Videos will be coming back as normal. I do want to... I knew I wasn't going to talk about much more after other than NX stuff, but I just do want to say one more thing. If I can make things go really well over this week, as far as videos are going, expect possibly 2 a day videos, but like of the same series in a row, just so I can crank out these LPs, because it's time to move on. I'm getting sick of these games. Like, I love these games, but I'm sick of seeing them up. I'm sick of going to my channel like, that was your most recent upload. Rise of the Tomb Raider, 4 views, because everyone else is sick of this series too. I want to get this done, and I want to move on to some fun games, okay? Because I've got so much in store. I created this little special banner for 2016, because I do that every year on my channel, and I haven't touched either of the game or any of the games that are on that banner. There's 4 of them hidden in there. There's 3 that are obvious and 1 that's not so obvious, and they're all in there. And I haven't touched a single one of them yet, and I really want to get to it because they're all going to happen before this year's over. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. Y'all awesome. I love you guys. You're great, and I'm very, very excited for what's to come. This has been the Squirtle King signing off, and I will see you all in the next one.